For a long time, I knew one thing about myself. I didn't want the traditional path. I fell in love with music early, and somewhere along the way I convinced myself that it would become my way out, a way to build a life around creativity, around freedom. When I was about 15, I started to release music under an alias, trying to become a DJ. There was some traction, not much, but enough to make me believe that I was close to something bigger. After graduating, I took a job at the local fish market, and I kept telling myself that it was temporary. I'd work during the day, make music at night, on weekends, whenever I could. I didn't stop trying. I started new artist projects, I launched multiple YouTube channels in different niches. I was always searching for that one thing that would finally work. From the outside, it probably looked like I was doing everything right. I was busy, I was always working on something, but the results just weren't there. And over time, that gap between effort and outcome really started to mess with me. At some point, I realized I had spent years doing one thing extremely well: waiting for something to happen, waiting for someone to notice me, waiting for my life to finally begin. I had this quiet belief that great things would happen without me really needing to change, that one song, one video, or one lucky moment would suddenly change everything. And when that never happened, I didn't question the belief, I questioned myself. I started thinking, maybe success just isn't for me. Looking back, nothing was working because I wasn't truly committing, not long enough, not deeply enough. The uncomfortable truth was that I wanted extraordinary results without becoming a different version of myself. Seeing people my age move forward made it worse. They were building careers, traveling, progressing, and I was still at the same old fish market job. I felt behind. And the hardest thought to admit was this: what if this dream was never real? What if this was all it would ever be? The shift didn't happen in some dramatic moment. It was quieter than that. I just reached a point where I couldn't ignore the truth anymore. Nothing was going to change unless I changed first. No one was coming to discover me. No opportunity was going to fall out of the sky. If I wanted a different life, it was on me to build it. So I went back to the basics. A real business isn't luck. It isn't hype. It's creating something valuable and getting paid for it. That realization killed an old version of me. The version that wanted to blow up without really earning it. I stopped consuming and started building. And at that point I asked myself a very simple question: what can I create that actually helps people? Something they'd be willing to pay for. And that's when the idea clicked. Music production assets. Once I had that clarity, everything else followed. I started cutting out distractions. I began structuring my days in a way I never had before. I'd wake up earlier than I needed to, just to go to work on the business before my shift at the fish market. After work, I'd come home, go to the gym, and then sit back down and work again at night. Day after day. Not perfectly, but consistently. And naturally, that meant saying no. No to comfort, no to distractions, and sometimes no to people I cared about. For the first time, I wasn't waiting anymore. I was fully committed to the process. Even then, doubt didn't magically disappear. As launch got closer, one thought kept coming back. What if no one buys? I had failed enough times to expect disappointment. Launching didn't feel exciting, it felt risky. Because if this didn't work, I'd have to admit that the problem might actually be me. Still, I kept going, not because I felt confident, but because I trusted the process more than my emotions. When I finally launched, I was terrified. What if no one buys? What if this just becomes another failure? And then it happened. I remember jumping around my apartment and immediately texting my girlfriend. It wasn't luck, it wasn't a lie, it worked. That first month, the business made around $1,500. Way more than the $200 I expected. But honestly, the money wasn't the real reward. What mattered was the proof. Proof that I could actually achieve what I set out to do. For the first time, I wasn't guessing anymore. I wasn't waiting. I had built something real. And one important thing I want to be clear about: I never stopped being a music producer. I still love producing music. I still love working with artists. That part of me never went away. What changed was the responsibility I took around my life. So if you're a creative person who feels behind, frustrated, or stuck waiting for a break, I want you to hear this. I mean, you need to hear this. No one is coming. And that's not bad news, it's freedom. Because the moment you stop waiting and start building something real with intention and consistency, everything begins to change.